have a question. What are essential oils? Like, what is it actually?
Essential oils.
Well, okay, because I've heard this. I don't know if this is true, but like they can be very dangerous to like cats or like like certain animals are very sensitive to it.
Dangerous to humans if they're used in like large consumptions.
Yeah. So what is
Large
it?
amounts.
Is it like squeezing the oil out of them? Like what is an essential oil?
Kind of, yes.
You take lavender flowers and squeeze them. And
I think it's more complicated than squeezing them, but it's like it's
super
separating out the volatile chemical compounds. So like they somehow, however they do it, they pull the compounds.
So what I'm hearing is we don't actually know exactly what essential oils are. We just
they are compounds found in the lavender or peppermint or whatever. I don't think they squeeze essential oils. I think it's some kind of chemical.
Yeah. Essential oils are obtained through distillation via steam and or water or mechanical methods such as cold pressing.
Okay.
Does that help?
Steam. Yeah.
I mean,
but they're dangerous because they're so concentrated. Even certain one, like you are supposed to use a carrier oil if you put them on your skin. So like they could be bad for humans as well.
Oh.
It'd be like the equivalent of eating like just a handful of like lavender. Like that could hurt your stomach.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things like Teflon used to be like, oh, this has Teflon. This is awesome. And then you found out like, oh, Teflon's like really bad for you. You know, things like that, where it's like everybody just kind of, it's like almost like a buzzword. Like I don't know. It's just, it's like, oh, it's an essential oil. This is great. You know, but it's like, I think, what is it?
I mean, I think this is a marketing talking point, but I do think it's true. Like cheap essential oils probably are not as clean and safe and good. Whereas like high quality ones are more, just the thing that they say they are.
Right. Here's another question I have. Why do they make the freaking hole so small on this? Like, this is not a functional, it's like, I want to have this coffee, but it's like, it's so difficult to actually drink it. It's such a strange thing that they were just like, you know
what if they had a giant hole that would just not, it wouldn't look right. Like it's not, the proportions would be off.
I don't know. I think that you could make this slightly, like at least let me get a finger actually in there. It's just weird.
The real Italians drink it with their pinkies through the hole.
Let's see you try and do that.
That doesn't sound right.
Can you try that?
That was almost a disaster what I just did. No, I mean you have to. I mean to me, I think you got to just pinch, and then you can either go pinky out or not. You know?
Oh, you got to go pinky out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love espresso. It's just such a weird. It's like why'd they do it like that? Why didn't they just make a normal cup for it? I don't know.
Ariel.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
You invited us to your 40th birthday party.
I did. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because if we all lived in the same town and worked in the same place, I would have invited you guys. And I didn't want to, because I see you as friends as well as coworkers. And I can't believe
why was that so hard for you to say?
Yes. And I also like that she sees us as friends, not you are my friends. We are friends.
You are my friends.
That was uncomfortable.
Yes. I can move past that. That was hard to experience, though. That was tough to experience, but I can move past that.
Well, you invited us to your birthday party, and you ruined everything.
Yep.
What do you mean?
We've been in secret contact with your husband and your daughter, and we were going to surprise you at your birthday.
And you had to go, and you couldn't just leave it alone.
You couldn't just not invite us, not see us as friends.
Yeah.
Why does this ruin that? Why did you have to tell me that you were in secret conversations?
Well, because we were excited about the surprise. We were going to surprise you. We'd be like, hey, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you guys were coming.
And we felt like Nell like figuring out how to lie the best and be like, oh, we can't make it. That would just be too hard. And we're busy this month. And so that would be too much.
You're busy.
Handle.
You don't have time to lie.
I don't have time to lie to you.
So you guys are coming to my birthday party?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. How many times are you going to make us say it?
That's awesome. I actually can't believe it still. I'll have to wait and see you guys there.
She's like,
you got to process.
Wow, I thought I was just going to be nice. It would be nice to make a gesture.
No, I'm really excited.
Now you have to.
No, I think Wes and Michelle will be there. So
what is happening? Can you tell me what's happening at this birthday party?
Well, it is a birthday party, first of all.
40 years old.
I'm going to be 40 years old. Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to just keep saying that, like.
No, you have to say it till you believe it.
A lot of
Because I don't believe it. Because sometimes I think that I'm 20 and then I'll stay up till 2 a.m. and then I realize that I'm almost 40, so you have to like remind yourself.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So it's out in the valley, which is in the country.
Also, this is like
the country.
St. Louis. This is not like in California in the valley. Like
Michael,
we're talking.
No. It's like a literal valley with trees on one side, trees on the other, and a creek that runs through it. Yeah.
Are there bathrooms? Like what?
There are
what
bathrooms. There's 2 bathrooms. There's running water. There's Wi-Fi. There's air conditioning.
Not in the camp. Not in the tents. You're gonna make us stay in. Bobby, can we find an outfitter nearby and just get like a glamping tent delivered and like have them 2-story?
Is this actual camping? Are we camping?
Well, there's not room for us in the house.
Damn it.
Well, you've already committed.
We're gonna Uber back to St. Louis that night, I think.
Okay.
Michael, did you know about this ahead of time? I thought we were staying in a house.
Well, we can. Man. We can get a place nearby, Bobby.
Yeah, you could stay. So there are places to stay in the house, but I am being a little stingy with who I am giving.
I know you are, but we're coming
to.
thousands of miles.
Is there an Airbnb?
Miles?
Probably. Is there an Airbnb close by?
Together, when you add all the miles up between the 2 of you.
Yes.
Yeah, round trip, thousands of miles.
Thousands. Of miles. Is there an Airbnb somewhere we can rent?
Yeah. I mean, I think that you guys could we'll have to figure out how many bedrooms and how many people are coming from out of town. But I think you guys could stay in the house.
Hey,
actually.
Listeners.
There are bunk beds. Oh my God, there's a bunk room. You guys could stay in the bunk beds.
Oh, man.
Hey, listeners, text us and let us know if you like hearing us plan logistics for a trip.
Yeah.
You guys could stay in the bunk room, and it's right across the hallway
from
the room with the creepy dolls.
Okay.
Because they used to run a doll hospital out of the house.
This is murder. Okay, we're going to be murdered.
Okay, Michael, we need a location, and we need to look for a.
You know what? In COVID, when they had those like video screen shares, but they were on like segways so they could drive around. Maybe we'll just rent some of those and be there in video.
I would rather camp. Give me a tent. Oh man, we
I
might have committed a little early on this one.
I say we get some yurt outfitter to deliver like a 2-story
yurt,
two king beds.
2-story yurt would be crazy. Okay, we'll figure this out.
There are places to stay I would say about 20 to 30 minutes away. There are tons of Airbnbs at a place called Innsbruck.
We're going to make it work.
That is a lovely place. Look up Innsbruck, Missouri.
I think the important part, Ariel, is that we're looking forward to coming and celebrating your 40th party.
I'm actually very excited that you guys
we were looking forward to it. We were looking forward to it.
I had to email your daughter because she's the only contact I had and said, I need your husband's number. Mm-hmm. And she said something weird. She said, here's his number, but I highly recommend you email him. What is that about?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So Declan just got a cell phone 2 years ago. You know that's right? Oh his very first cell phone, he got it 2 years ago.
What? We're going to the backwoods hillbilly. We're going to be murdered, Bobby.
Oh, man, this sucks. What are we doing?
And his cell phone, he leaves it at home. He doesn't bring it anywhere with him.
I highly recommend you email him.
Could we rent an RV? What do you think about that, Michael?
Oh, we getting RVs? Oh yeah, I love it.
Like a small RV or something.
Well, let me just paint.
How many people are sharing the 2 bathrooms?
That's actually
as I get older. Yeah, that's a great idea, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, you guys can do that.
I'll look it up.
You said there's 2 bathrooms in the house. As I get older, I don't like to share bathrooms with like 40 people. How many people are sharing these bathrooms?
There'll be like 30 to 40 people there.
Holy crap.
I think we get a little.
We gotta figure something out. This is a disaster of a plan here. I thought it was gonna be like at your house or something before we said that we would do it, but no, it's okay.
It's at the creek.
It's at the creek.
Remember, we were going to plan we thought about going to a retreat there, but it was like, oh, it's so backwoods. You know,
Oh, is it at that house?
Yeah.
Oh,
We have a
we don't
family
go.
cemetery there. There's a cemetery on the property.
This is at that place. Holy
That
crap.
place. Yep.
They just throw, I don't know if people know this that are listening. They just throw their people that die in the family over like a hill into a creek. Like that
is not true.
I'm pretty sure that's how, when you described it to me, it sounded like that. It was like you cover them in a bed sheet and then you roll them into the creek or something.
Did I tell you the story, the very special story about the creek? I don't know if this needs to be on the podcast, but I just want to tell you this very special story. So when I was like 8 or 9 years old, my dad's brother bought a piece of property on this road in Missouri. And we would go out there when I was little, and there's a creek, and we'd play on it and everything. And we would drive
Play
down
on the creek? That's an interesting
in the creek
way.
and on it, around it, through it, under it.
I don't know how you play on a creek, but carry
We'd
on.
play
It's
in
like
the creek.
another dimension or something that we're going to here.
It is a magical place. You will discover that. It is healing powers.
It's the
I
drugs. They think they're
believe.
walking
It
on
might be
water.
drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are all just microdosing mushrooms or something and then playing in the creek. Like,
Listen to my story, okay?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. So we would go down there, and most of the road is now paved, guys, but a lot of the road, the whole road.
We're not
was
going to get the
paved for
RV
a
down
while.
there.
No, you will. You will. If you had to cross one more creek, you probably wouldn't, but you will be fine.
We'll have to wait to rent it and see how the rainy season is
that's
going.
That's a good point.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we're driving. We'd have to drive down this long gravel road that was like really rocky, and you literally drive through the creek to get to my uncle's house when I was little. And the last house that you would drive by when you went down this road was this beautiful log cabin that had these 2 red front doors, big field on either side. And I remember driving by when I was like 8 or 9 years old, just thinking like, that place is magical. I want to go there someday. And then when Declan and I met, he was like, my family has a place on this road. And I was like, my uncle used to live down there. And that was Declan's house, his family's house the whole time that I always wanted to go to. And then we got married and I get to go to it all the time.
That's a real Cinderella story.
That is.
Right?
That is. How has he made it without a cell phone for the last 20 years of his life? Or 15 years. Like, what? Can you explain that part real quick before we move on?
Well, I mean, he did have homing pigeons for a while. So he would like carry one of those around and tie a little note to their ankle and just send that
you say
home.
this is a joke. You ha ha ha. But
He really did
I
have
don't know if
homing
that's a joke.
I don't know.
He really did have homing pigeons. But
You have a
that's not how
32-inch TV
Yeah, gosh.
and 42 mopeds. I don't know what this guy's into.
No, I mean, he would just be the person that, like, if he had a question about something, he would ask somebody, "Can I borrow
That is
your
good.
phone?"
That's great. That's the kind of life
So
I'd
he's
like
just
to live,
bumming
actually.
off of people. He's just
Yeah.
bumming other people's phones for like his entire adult.
But that's what you used to do, right? Like, if you went to your friend's house and you needed to call your mom, you're like, "Can I use your phone?" And then,
But was he printing off MapQuest maps still?
Yeah.
No.
How's he doing? Does he
No.
do maps? What was he doing?
How was he getting around if he's going on a trip?
he would look up the directions and like write them
Just
down.
remember.
Or he has a wife that has a phone, and so my phone was used.
Another
often.
one? Oh, you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So are you guys are really gonna stay at the creek?
Oh, God, maybe. Is the questionable decision us agreeing to do something before we go?
Yeah. This is, the more I hear about it, the more it's becoming.
No,
a
I'm just so
questionable decision.
excited because I've been planning this for months and I just can't stop thinking about it, and it's going to be wonderful. And the next day, we're going to go hiking and we're going to play in the creek, Michael, and badminton and croquet and maybe
Crochet?
No, croquet. Or you could just lounge with like a Bloody Mary on the lawn.
Yeah, is
You
it like
know?
Champagne Dreams?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
I don't either. I've just heard it before.
Okay.
There will be lots of champagne. That is the drink of the evening.
Yeah.
It sounds like it will be fun once I'm there and I get a couple drinks in me, and it's a lot to take in with the creek and the. Are we going to have to sing? Do we have to sing like the video you showed me of your family like singing?
No, you don't have to. That's only on Thanksgiving.
Or whatever.
No, that's only on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm generally excited about it. I'm a little like, oh man, what are the what's the sleeping situation, all that kind of stuff. But if we get Michael and I can figure this out. Michael's good at
We'll
this.
figure it out. I got like 17 ideas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space there too. Like, it's just like it doesn't feel tight or stuffy. Like,
Are there going to be banjos?
Oh,
I'm hoping there's
mandolins.
banjos. We're trying to work out the band still. We went to see a band this weekend that I was thinking maybe we would see if they would come and play. And then I don't know that I want them to come and play anymore. So
we do
What
bagpipes.
the heck does that mean? Do you like look into their political views or something?
Well, I didn't have to look into their political views. It was like they changed the words to a song, so it was just like repeating "Stand My Ground" over and over again, and it made me a little nervous.
At what point did you like them?
Well, we know one of the band members, and I've listened to some of their stuff on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, they sound pretty good. But it was just, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that.
Are you sure that Michael and I are allowed to come to this thing that you're doing?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I want you to. You guys are my friends.
When I get a couple drinks in me, I'm going to start telling people what I think.
I don't know.
Ariel's going to be like, all right, time for you to go to the RV.
There is a little
That's a good
cabin we
point.
could lock you in. So
Please don't.
All right. Mentally not prepared for this totally, but it'll be fine. Do we have a questionable decision today?
okay. So I found this on Reddit's Am I the Asshole? And the main question, like the shortened version of it, is am I the asshole for not paying for my sister's vacation because she won't agree to babysit? Okay. The backstory is that this person's family is planning a vacation for the summer. Both of the parents, the older brother, sister-in-law, and younger sister and kids are all planning to go. It's a 2-week stay at a resort. It is going to be a bit expensive. Camilla is the sister in question who they're talking about not paying for the vacation. She's in her last semester in college and starts a full-time job in August. She's not working currently and lives with her parents. She called last week to ask if we could pay for her ticket and accommodation. My parents would pay for her food and activities. And the person asking the question says her and her husband can comfortably afford our family, but adding Camilla, so paying for her, would put financial pressure on us. I told her that I would discuss it with my husband and then would call her. So they agreed that they would be willing to pay for her if she would babysit the kids on certain occasions during this 2-week resort stay. Camilla said, absolutely not. She would not do it. So, and she said that we are manipulating her into doing unpaid labor and forcing her to say yes because neither our brother or parents could afford to pay for her. So is this
the payment is they're paying for you.
right? So yeah, is that a questionable decision to how do we feel about that? Like that whole situation.
I actually don't like the idea of inviting somebody on a trip like that and forcing them to work. Like
Forcing them to work?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can either afford to have them come on the trip and like be generous about it, or not. And if they don't want to babysit, like I don't know if I would want to go on a trip and babysit somebody else's kids. Like I think that would kind of suck, you know. So I mean, I could see it kind of from both perspectives. I think like it just if you truly don't want to babysit and you feel it depends on they might have a bad relationship or something because like she might feel like oh you're just inviting me only so I can go do take care of your kids and you can have fun. So I don't know. I mean, babysitting doesn't sound fun to me.
They invited her. She said, "I can't afford it. Can you pay for me?" And they said, "We'll pay for you, but if you will watch our kids a couple times."
Yeah. Well, if they don't want to do that, then it's fine. You know, I think it's
but
just
now
like
she's calling them manipulative. That's not manipulative. That's yes, we'll pay thousands of dollars for you to come if a couple times you can keep our kid.
I think you just
and it's not just some kid; it's her nieces or nephews.
But see, I think the issue is that they invited a person on this trip, or they're planning this trip, and like everybody else is paying their way besides the little sister Camilla, who's 22, who is in college still. Like, I feel like and doesn't work. And like they knew that going in that we're planning this trip with family and we've got this one person who doesn't work. And this would be a financial hardship for them to come to begin with. And so I feel like there's something there, like, if you know this about your little sister, you know that they probably can't afford to do this. Like, shouldn't you have had a plan to begin with that isn't just like babysit our kid and you can come? Like that seems a little
Yeah,
mean.
it's tough. I mean, it's like on one hand you can look at it and be like, it's very generous that they're even offering it all, but it's also like if you can't afford to do it, like why are you trying to make it work so that you can get babysitters for your kids? Like, I don't know. It kind of feels like the better thing to do would just be like, you know what? Like if you can pay, awesome. If you can't, then we can't pay for you. And then if they want to come and say, well, hey, can we, like if the sister comes and is like, I would like to come, I really would, I can babysit your kids for you. Like it seems like that would, if they want to do that. But I think that if you're kind of like forcing it, like, hey, you can come, but only if you work. Like it's just
I feel like
that seems odd to me.
Putting that like kind of stipulation on the trip to begin with. Because I feel like something like that would maybe happen a little bit more naturally. Like, oh, thank you for having me. Like, I'd love to just like you guys go out one evening. I'll watch the kids. You know, I appreciate you paying for me. I feel like it would be much easier and more natural that way.
Well, like a good example of this, like I take my family, I take my mom and my mother-in-law on a trip every year. And so we do a really nice trip and I don't ask them to pay for anything. So like my mom will say like, hey, I'll pay for things. And my mother-in-law will pay for a dinner here and there. But if I put the stipulation on them of like, you can come if you watch our kid, like I feel like that would be in bad taste. I'd rather just invite them. And then what happens is they go, hey, we'll watch the kids. So you and Coral can go out and do things like that. Works well. But I would never put that stipulation on them because it's just like feels to me. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So there's some nuance in there that I don't know we could agree or disagree on. But can you go back to the part of the sister's reaction? Remind me what she then said.
Okay.
Because this is where I feel like I'm going to have more of an issue.
So my husband and I agreed that we would be willing to pay for her if she would babysit our children on certain occasions. Of course, not every day and without notice, but at least twice a week for 2 hours for 2 weeks. She would basically be the replacement for our current babysitter. Anyway, I texted her basically saying what I just wrote, and she replied, absolutely not. So I called her to ask why she was so against this arrangement, which I think benefits both of us. She gets to go on vacation, and we have a babysitter we trust and don't spend more than our monthly budget. Camilla said that we were manipulating her into doing unpaid labor to us for, I think this is like a non-native English speaker who wrote this, but Camilla said that we were manipulating her into doing unpaid labor to us and forcing her to say yes because neither our brother or parents could afford to pay for her. She also said that she was way too busy with her last semester of uni and finals. I told her that she could do all of her school stuff in our house. My children are very well behaved and need little supervision, but she said that she still wouldn't do it. And then I told her,
this is not asking her to be the babysitter on the vacation. This is saying you can come on the vacation with us. And the way that we're going to pay for you is we're going to not hire a babysitter when we're at home if you'll watch our kids 4 hours a week. Oh, no. And I'm not. Nope. That
like
seems
Which way
very
are you
reasonable
saying?
to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you think that that's reasonable? I think
It's incredibly reasonable. They're saying we will pay for
you.
you. I mean, yes, there's a lot of weirdness here, but she asked for them to pay for her. They said, we will pay for you to come on the vacation. I thought it was her babysitting on the vacation.
yeah, that's what I originally
Which I get like,
too.
okay, well, you're not going to be able to participate in some things. But still, that to me isn't insulting. It's just, maybe you don't prefer it. But this is them saying, when we're back home, replace our babysitter for a month to offset the cost. That's completely reasonable.
I don't know. I could see being insulted by that. I don't know why. I could just see that being very like a.
But do you remember when you were like 22 in college? Like you can make that work. I don't think it's different. Like your mother-in-law example or your mother, that's very different. Like that, I feel like that's quite a different combination. But if like my brother, needed something, yes, I may just do it for him. But if I'm actually trying to offset the budget of what I'm going to cover, and I ask him to do, hey, can you do this task for me to help cover the cost?
Yeah. I think that there's probably context missing here. And I mean, obviously you don't get the context of like, what is their relationship normally like? Cause I could see this being kind of depending on how it's said to somebody, like I could see it being like kind of a crappy way to get something from someone. To me, it's like the easiest way on all this stuff is like, if you can't afford, like just tell them about the trip. And if they come, they come. If they can't, they can't. Like that's, and they can figure out their own way to pay it off or whatever. But I think when you start trying to like finagle things like this, I think you just run into problems.
What if the kids are assholes and the sister doesn't want to babysit because the kids are awful? Like they're just awful. Like her previous experience with them, like they're sticking bubble gum in her hair. You know, they're like drawing on her shoes, or like they're cutting up her purse. Who knows? They could be like just real jackasses. And she's like, no, I'm not watching your kids. This is not worth it, because the last time that I did this, they peed in my backpack or something. I don't know. Like
they could be angelic kids who sit quietly and read books, and she's just
they could be
asshole.
Yeah,
I think
true. They could be.
Also, it's family, but yeah.
I don't know. I just think that this whole thing is like, it's just, if you just have better communication up front and then you just say, hey, we're going on this trip, it costs this much. Like, I think it's kind of ridiculous that she asked for them to pay for it. Like, that's, that's dumb. And then I think it's like these people try to finagle it with you're going to watch our kids. Like, the kids might suck. They might not be, I don't know. Some people just don't like watching kids. Like, before I had a kid, I did not want to watch people's kids. Like,
we've talked about this before. And I do think that if you can't afford it, the best way is probably to say, no, right now I can't, I won't be able to make it, can't come. And then someone, if they have the means, maybe they can offer you that. For her to ask for it, if it was that directly, that's pretty blunt. And that's what makes me feel for the person who's writing this is her sister asked, hey, can you just pay for me? And if they need to then offset that in their budget, that seems very reasonable. It's not like she feels manipulated and like they're trying to get her to do free labor. That is backwards to me. Like, no, you asked for money essentially, and they're saying, sure, we can cover you, but can you cover us?
Yeah. Doesn't sound like they have a good relationship to begin with.
Because it doesn't sound like they have a good relationship. Yeah.
Because if you immediately go to you're manipulating me, there's got to be some kind of wound in the past that's happened. There. Yeah. There's some history in that. So I don't know. I feel like with things like this, like the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Like, this person probably didn't make as generous of an offer or ask the way that they probably should have. And then the sister probably has some baggage and probably shouldn't have asked them to pay for it. So I don't know. I think if you're going to invite somebody on a trip, erring toward the side of just being super generous about it is the way to go, if you can afford to.
So then, like, because like Michael said, we have kind of talked about this in previous episodes, same kinds of things. When somebody asks you to do something and you might not be able to afford it. So, like, what is the script that we give somebody in a situation like this? Like, Michael, you ask me to come. Michael's going to ask me to come on a vacation with him. Go for it, Michael. And I'm going to try and like play this out.
Cannot possibly imagine the words I would use to ask you to come on a vacation.
You just say, hey, Ariel, you want to come on vacation with Emberly and I? That's it.
Hey, Ariel, hey, coworker.
Friend.
Me and my wife. Oh, yeah, friend. Oh, well, that makes it all better.
Now, if we really wanted to make wait. If we really wanted to make it like in this situation, you would say like family. Hey, Ariel, family member, Ariel.
I thought this is very weird role playing.
She was like uncomfortable calling us friends like a little bit ago. Now she's like
couldn't get the words out. And now she wants to come on vacation with me and my wife.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, ask me again. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting you.
Hey, Emberly and I are going, to St. Martin, and wanted to know if you wanted to come on vacation with us.
Thanks for asking. I cannot go.
Okay.
I thought there was, okay, wait a second. So we need like and then you're like, why? And then I say, I can't afford it. And then you say.
Don't tell me what to say.
If you can babysit Hudson, you can come. We'll pay for you. Right? Is this how this works?
I don't think that's a one-to-one. However, if I offered to pay for you to go to St. Martin and ask you to babysit, again, not a bad arrangement.
No.
But that's not even the details.
I think the proper way is like many, many months in advance, maybe up to a year in advance. Like, hey, Ariel, we're planning on the family's going to a sandals resort in the Bahamas next year on this date. Go. Well, okay, whatever. We're going there. It's going to cost this much money. You're invited. We just wanted to let you know ahead of time, like, here's how much it costs so you can, come or not. We won't be offended either way. Like, I think that's the way to handle it. And then if they come back and say, I really can't afford it. Well, actually, no. What would you say to that? I don't know. I feel like that's a nice way to ask.
I feel like you could just say, thank you for the invite. I cannot go. And if the person presses, because it might just be that the person really doesn't want to go.
It's the press. Because then you're like,
the
oh,
press.
well, we really want you to go. Because I think some people in their mind want the perfect vacation. And they're like, oh, it'd be so great if the whole family came. And so then they start trying to force it. Oh, well, we could come, or we could help pay for you, or we could make this happen. And then I think that's where you start running into issues.
I think we could, we have a good template. I mean, we were recently invited to a party, and it was, I don't want this to be weird, but you're invited to my party. That's how you should do it.
Yeah.
Why did you say that, Ariel?
I don't want this to be weird, but I kind of,
I don't want to make this weird, but
sort of.
But I'm going to make it weird by saying this.
I see you kind of as friends. So do you want to come?
Because I feel like I'm opening my personal life up to you all as my coworkers, and that makes me uncomfortable.
We're glad we're glad you invited us.
It's not normal. It's not.
So long as you're going to be uncomfortable, we're glad we're going.
She's deep breathing.
This is some.
No, I know what you mean though, Ariel. Yeah. I mean, it is tough. Like you know.
All right, so I don't like. You brought some good questionable decisions, but they're people I don't like. I just don't like these people.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I think that I like that kind of we landed on where the issue lies is when people press you for like your, to make you feel bad for not coming or to
yes. That's because that's where it gets tricky. I think there needs to be clear communication. You need to tell people how much it costs. And then if you want somebody to come really, really badly, like you need to just make that happen for them.
Be willing.
I think you have to be if you want somebody to do something that you want, I think you have to be willing to pay for it.
I think that's correct. And we've talked about that on other podcasts, but on the Camilla side, to jump straight to you're trying to manipulate me and get free labor, that is like, get out of my life toxicity. Because in that case, if she had felt pressed and they said, okay, well, but maybe you can like babysit for us a little bit to offset the costs, that's when she could have said, I'm really busy right now. I don't know that I can commit to that. So, maybe I just won't be able to make the trip. That should have been the move for her. But she went to this like toxic place of you're trying to manipulate me.
I'm trying to I didn't give you the ages for everyone, but like the older sister was like 32 and then Camilla's 22. And I'm trying to like picture that Camilla's the youngest. There's some like weird older sibling, youngest sibling, like energy happening, some relationship thing there where the older one is always like, well, mom and dad gave you everything because you're the baby. And then the younger one's like, you're the boss. You're always trying to be the boss of me. So like, I feel like they're bringing all of that into this as well.
Whoa. Somebody's about to die.
We can't record at 12 o'clock in St. Louis. 11 o'clock.
What is that alarm again?
The tornado siren.
It was muted.
Oh my God.
What if a tornado comes through at Mondays at 11 a.m.?
Is that what they just test that?
It's the test siren.
You knew that before you moved into that neighborhood? That they do that every Monday at noon?
I didn't realize how close the siren was though.
Every Monday they do that? That is, they are committed. Is every other
Once
week?
a month. First Monday of the month.
Okay, that's not bad. Whoa, that thing is... Oh. All clear?
One more?
No.
This has been a test of the St. Louis County.
Is that person almost dead? What is going on?
Did they have is there something mentally wrong with him?
Yeah.
This was only a test.
It's like 50 yards away, the big siren thing, which I didn't realize that was
Did they disguise it as a bird's nest? Sometimes they do that.
No, it just looks like a big pole with sirens on it now. I mean, I don't know why we didn't notice it in advance. We weren't looking, but
all right.
The first Monday after we moved in, it was like, holy shit.
That's not good.
Monday of the month. But
all right, guys. Well, This was a wild episode. We thank you for listening. I wonder how many people made it this far. We cannot be talking to that many people by now. But we thank you for listening.
My mom is going to be at my birthday party. You guys will get to
gosh.
meet your biggest fan.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we'll talk to you then.